Okay, I'll start talk. So for you to understand who I am, right now I am professor in Palm Beach State College and I teach anatomy and microbiology all there. So I work my full-time job as a professor in Palm Beach State College. I teach anatomy and microbiology in college. I am on Bell Bay campus. And I started working with bees almost yesterday. It was 1963 when I received my first hive. And after I pursued my PhD in animal science, and my dissertation was on biochemical properties of pollen, and after everything else. So right now I'm member of board of American Apitherapy Society, and if you're interested in real power of bees, you should join American Apitherapy Society also. It's online, you can go and you can visit. In May we have our convention in Chicago. So it's 4 days event, and during 4 days we try to introduce people to apitherapy as much as possible. So, my computer doesn't work again. Today we're going to start talk about honey. Probably most of you come to recognition of bees through honey. And why we talk about honey? Because probably that's most recognized product of honeybees, and practically all this product what we practically receive from nature. This product practically everywhere all the time. Unfortunately, American consumer, and it doesn't matter, you beekeeper or you just sometimes buy honey. So American consumer practically don't recognize this product as it should. So bees produce honey for their own benefit, everybody know, right? And everybody probably remember honeybee colony need approximately how much honey for its own needs? Anybody know?
For a year?
For a year.
100 pounds?
About 220 pounds. It's about 100 kilos. That's for their own benefit. So if you have hive, so hive need at least this amount. Everything additionally what honeybee collect, we can take and we can use for our benefit. Okay? So why we talk about honey? Honey, first of all, it's food. And it's very unusual food. Because in order for us to function, we need energy. In order to have energy, we need glucose. So main source of glucose for our body, it'd be starch. Every time when you eat your pasta, bread, and everything else, that's source of energy. Unfortunately, because we become so industrialized, because we do many things what we should not do, everything what we eat from our table is highly processed food. And unfortunately, these all chemicals what we need to consume, they will be changed dramatically. Honey, if, of course, if, right? If you have real honey, not honey from store. So honey, that's source of real glucose in L form, what should be human consume. And every time when I work with people, when people try to receive some kind of help from bees, they always ask, what kind of honey we should consume? My answer always, good honey. What does it mean, good honey? Every time, because people who come to me, they have no idea what beekeeping is. So they say, oh, should I go to Costco or Whole Foods store? What is your answer?
No.
Never, right? Because it doesn't matter. You go to Walmart or you go to most expensive store, you receive same honey, which is come from 4 packers in United States. Only 4 facilities pack all honey what United States consumer consume. 99%, oh, not probably 80% of honey coming from where? You have very good memory. Not China anymore. It's Vietnam. And Vietnam doesn't have bees. No, I'm not kidding you. Vietnam doesn't have bees. Only they sell honey. So let's talk about property of honey. Very sad. Only our regulative agency, which is FDA, doesn't have description what honey is. United States, except Florida trying, only United States doesn't have standard on honey. So what you consuming, if you're not consuming your own honey, what you consuming? Depends what that packer present to you, right? Everybody, everything else, it doesn't matter, right? And as you see, last time when FDA come to this problem a little bit, it was 85. Long time ago, right? Same time, European Union have a little bit come a little bit farther away, and they describe what is honey, and as you see, it's sweet substance which produced by honeybees, right? Is it always this way or no? So honey have to be natural substance, right? And it have to come from nature, have to come from plants, right? And same time, probably you're familiar with this, I just go very fast about this. So Florida tried to introduce new law, and this new law was adopted not long time ago, and according to Florida statute, certified honey means honey is stamped, right? So in order for you to say, I sell honey, what you have to do? You have to go to state and ask permission to name your honey as a honey, right? If not, it'd be illegal. Very interesting from a legal point of view, very interesting point. So in one statute, honey is a substance which collected from nectar and honeydew. We go to second page and we say, honey means natural food product resulting of the harvest only nectar. Is it important? Is it important?
Yes.
Why?
It has the nutrients.
Because all of you right now producing illegal product.
I thought they rewrote the laws last year.
Pardon me?
I thought they rewrote the laws last year.
That's law what was rewritten. And two different statutes, one more time. One say it's nectar and honeydew. Second, it's nectar. Guess what? If I take, and I already done that, if I take sample from any honey what you produce, 80% of cases, your honey will have honeydew product. Is it bad? No, it's good. Only unfortunately, according to law, you're not producing honey, right? Additionally, it's lead right now to even bigger problem. Nobody recognizes this. Honey, that's product which have to have pollen. Unfortunately, American consumer consume only what kind of honey? Only liquid honey. In order to keep this liquid honey for a long time on shelf, it has to be very heavily filtered. In order to filter, we have to heat it and many problems, right? So right now, according to law in Florida, nobody can sell honey in store. And that's big problem because Florida, as you remember right now, fighting for second place on amount of people who live up here, right? So big problem, okay? So in order to identify and describe what you're selling, you have to go to state, and state can identify, stamp your honey. Only after this process you can say it's honey, right? So unfortunately, again, I don't know why, only in the United States, nobody recognizes source of honey. So main source of honey in United States, it's nectar, right? Everybody know. Nobody argue with me, right? Right. Only if you look, it say, nectar means sweet solution secreted by plant extrafloral glands. So if bee collect nectar from flower, you're not producing honey.
Or by any part of the flower.
It say extrafloral glands, nectarines.
Or by any part of the flower.
One more time. It's extrafloral nectarines, not intra. About 90% of honey produced from intrafloral nectarines. So as you see, honey, it's very controversial product, right? We can talk about honey as long as you want. If you like to stay here until tomorrow morning, I have enough material to talk about it, right? Yes.
So what you're saying is my state made me illegal?
Not maybe. Not maybe. It is.
Then I need to talk to my governor and the rest of my legislators.
Not only you. Everybody should talk.
That's what I'm
Right?
saying.
Yeah.
I want to make that clear.
Yep. In United States, beekeepers produce many varieties. According to literature, it's more than 200. And you know, if you have 200 hives, what does it mean? You produce 200 varieties, right? Most often, we recognize varieties, it depends to source. And as you see here, just sample varieties of honey which is producing in United States, and you can add probably a couple more thousand with no problem. Okay, so each honey very unique, and you know each honey from each colony will be very unique, and each honey have particular properties which can be utilized, can be used for different purposes. Okay, so honey used very widely, and practically we just suspect, only looks like it's true, honey one of the oldest medicine for a human, because of sources of honey, because of different substances which honey contain, they can help us to alleviate many conditions. Okay, so everybody know about Ayurveda. Ayurveda practically will be not Ayurveda without honey. Okay, if you go practically to any part of world, and if you look on any type of human activity, human always try to include honey, because honey one of the best carrier for any substance what we want to add to our body. And unfortunately, we need to eat every day, right? And when you eat, why you eat? To add something, right? So in order to add something, in order for your body to accept it, you need this carrier. And this carrier work very well. Probably you know, honey is only product which never spoiled, right? If you produce good quality of honey, your honey lasts forever. And practically, it doesn't matter how you're going to keep this honey. It's very stable product, right? And because of substances which practically have capacity to suppress function, practically any bacteria or any organism which can change its property. So in order for us to understand what honey is, of course, we are human, right? And everybody, I hope, in this auditorium know who's your master. Who's your master? Your tongue, right? Your tongue. It tells you what to take, for how long, and how much, right? So according to our master, taste and aroma honey practically describe biological properties of honey, because if you like honey, you like it. If not, doesn't matter how good it is, right? You're not going to take it. Okay. So in quality of honey depends on many factors. First factor, of course, it be source of honey, right? Second, how you produce, what kind of bees produce, what kind of equipment you use for production, and so forth. So if you produce honey and if you don't know how to keep honey in your house, most likely amount of hydroxymethylfurfural HMF, that substance which will be created if you're going to keep honey inappropriately. And unfortunately, this substance not very nice to human body. Okay? So normally, bees collect honey which will be in beginning liquid, and a little bit later, about 99.9% of honeys will be crystallized, right? Unfortunately, again, United States consumers doesn't like it if it's crystallized, right? Why? Because it's sugar, not honey anymore, right? Only hopefully you guys know crystallized honey and liquid honey have equal properties, right? It's same product, right? It's just different state, okay? Predominant amount of honey will be crystallized. Only some of honey, like as you see, black locust, which produced usually in New York and upper Midwest, chestnut honey in Appalachian, one of the best honey is citrus, and Tupelo honey can stay, and several others can stay uncrystallized for several years. And again, depends to how you're going to keep it. Crystallization depends on ratio of glucose and fructose. And again, I didn't go through all flaws in Avella. Only Avella also have problems with this ratio. So normally we have honey which contains a little bit more glucose than fructose. It's why honey crystallizes relatively fast. Only some honey, like this citrus honey, have abnormal amount, higher amount of fructose, and it's why it stays for longer time without crystallization. So if you want honey, first of all, honey have to be pure, right? Without any adulteration. I like United States because in United States people relatively lazy and we don't like to feed bees, right? So it's why we have good honey. Second, it's economically not good, so most beekeepers, probably majority of beekeepers produce real honey, and practically it's good, and not too much of this honey in stores. Mostly it's sold locally, right? So in order for honey to be honey, it have to have at least 10,000 pollen grains per 1 gram, so high content of pollen. And honey usually will be taken in small amount, right? Practically, it's very difficult to find somebody who eat a pound of honey every day, right? Why? Why? You see, that's what I thinking you're going to tell me, because of sugar. How many of you drink 2 soda cans of soda?
Yeah.
How much sugar you consume? 1 can, it's 8 tablespoons of sugar. Human capable to consume sugar with no problem. Problem here, what honey have property which repel itself from our body. So normally, I recommend for all my patients approximately 2 tablespoons a day. Not all of them tolerate this amount. Usually 1 tablespoon, that's what you need. You don't need too much honey, okay? So where we can use honey, it's easier to say where we cannot, right? Honey can be used everywhere. Problem, how are you going to use it? Second problem, just use it. Unfortunately, all the time when somebody purchases honey or obtain honey from somebody, this honey go somewhere in farthest corner of your cabinet, right? And usually never come out. So if you want to consume honey, what you have to do? Put it on table. If it's on table, believe me, it will disappear relatively fast. So honey can be used for many purposes, okay? And of course, honey, because its properties can be used for therapeutical or medicinal properties. And what's good for us, it doesn't require special preparation, right? Just take it, just eat it. That's most important, okay? And honey can be added practically to anything. When I come to United States, I live in family, and my boss was eating barbecue all the time with honey. And it's